What if I told you I could predict all of the Boardgamegeek Golden Geek Award winners of this year? Skeptical? Well, we're going to do it. Here we go. Let's tune in. What was nominated? What is going to win? What should win, in my opinion? Breaking down all the categories, little speculation, little Liege for dummies. Let's do this. So Boardgamegeek does their own awards every year, right? 15 different categories of awards. And with a couple of them, they put a little restriction on them. They've actually spruced it up since Wingspan basically swept every single category a couple years ago, which was freaking ridiculous. Wingspan is a fine game, but Wingspan was not a two-player game. Wingspan was not, a heavy game, and it was winning like light, medium, and heavy, and it won Cooperative, and it won the two best two-player game, and it wasn't the best war game, just ridiculous stuff like that. And so at least they've tightened up the restrictions a little bit, so you can take a look at like actually two-player games are two-player games, not games that play well at two players. And I like that distinction better because they kind of lost some credibility at that point. But that's not why you're tuning in, right? You wanted me to show you how well I can predict. That's why you're tuning in, right? The other main thing of this is, what do you think's going to win? What do you think's going to win with these things? Because crowd be crazy all the time, right? Let's just go right into it. Category 1, the best two-player games. Now, again, I haven't played all these games, but I'm going to go off of what I know, mechanistic, reviews, and just personal bias, right? There's a couple games on here that I don't know. There's a couple games that I recognize. There are a couple of games in each of these categories that are just going to get more votes by name frickin' reputation. And so that's what two players are going to go, right? Two player has Wingspan Asia, Stalingrad, the Undaunted version that everyone's acclaimed about, Splendor Duel, the new Twilight Struggle Imperium, if you will, the Red Sea version, Mindbug, okay, Marvel Dice Throne, Caper Europe, and of course, Caesar sees Rome in 20 minutes. Under the radar, obviously Beer and Bread, as well as Pagan Fate of Roanoke. So a lot of games that you're going to recognize off of name recognition, but who's going to get the popular vote? Because let's not kid ourselves here. As the first category that we have to announce this on, right? This is not best game. This is popularity. This is high school all over again, which is why I kind of, but we're talking about it because it's relevant and it goes on these Boardgamegeek pages and people use this to justify and they put it on labels and they put it on everything else, right? So my personal pick, what I think should win, Caper Europe or Undaunted Stalingrad. Probably Undaunted Stalingrad should win. What's going to win? Marvel Dice Throne. Marvel Dice Throne is going to win that one. Hands down. Hands down. I don't even have to hesitate. It's going to be Marvel. It's going to overwhelm everything else unless the Wingspan crowd comes out from, nowhere after a couple years and totally overwhelms the category as well. But so, I can see those, being out there. Now, the next category, artwork and presentation. This is a very, very subjective one, right? Artwork and presentation, because there's a couple things on here that I go, okay, that makes sense, right? Blood on the Clock Tower, you can say about what you want. Cora Quest, again, the uniqueness on that side of things. Everdell, one of the most pretty games that people say across the board. Then you have My Father's Work. You have Return to Dark Tower. You have the ever-present Lacerda, My Weather Machine. And then you have Wonderland's War. All of these games that have gotten, recognition for that aspect of things. But I'm going to argue Heat Pedal to the Metal doesn't belong. I'm going to make the argument, though, that a couple of these others, like Heat Pedal to the Metal, John Company 2nd Edition, Carnegie, even Blood on the Clock Tower. Blood on the Clock Tower is a social game. And, presentation? No, this is artwork category. Right? Art freaking work. What should win this? Well, it depends on whether or not you think miniatures are part of presentation. Because if you think miniatures are part of presentation, then Foundations of Rome should win hands down because it's just massive and people love massive things. What is going to win, because I think there's not enough distinction made in this category, it's going to be Flamecraft. Flamecraft is going to win this one hands down because people in ooh and ah and goo goo gaga eyes over this one ever since it launched. Reviews are kind of mixed. People like it as a very lightweight worker placement style game, but it's nothing to be blown away by. But people have always been goo goo gaga, like I mentioned, over these dragons. They've got the big eyes and they're, oh, this is so cool. And that's fine. Should it win? I don't know. I like the aesthetic of Weather Machine or even Wonderland's War better. Again, I don't think either of those are going to win. I think you could see a little bit of competition from Creature Comforts, a little bit of competition from Everdell, a little bit of competition from Endless Winter. Do I think any of those are going to win? Realistically, no. I think it's going to be Flamecraft all the way. So now we scroll down, and this is probably one of the harder categories to predict. And we have cooperative games. You have a couple of games that I definitely, have my own inklings towards. Aeon Trespass Odyssey. You have Burn Cycle. You have Keep the Heroes Out. You have ISS Vanguard. You have Mists Over Carcassonne, Lands of Galzir, Oathsworn, Paint the Roses, Return to Dark Tower, Star Wars: The Pandemic, Clone Wars, and Vagrant Song. What should win? I mean, this is by far and away the most packed top to bottom category in there. What should win? What would have my own personal vote? Well, I'll be frank with you. I don't know. This is the biggest toss-up. If you look at it from top to bottom, what's going to get eased to the table? What's going to be playable? What's going to be the best value for your money? My vote really would have to go more along the lines of Mists Over Carcassonne. I think that's an absolutely fantastic game from this. The most innovative, Aeon Trespass Odyssey, without a doubt. What's going to win? Probably Oathsworn. Again, I think it's going to be the sheer popularity vote of Oathsworn that's going to win it over everything else. And I could say Vagrant Song belongs in that top 3 as well, even though I've got 4 games in there already. Because Vagrant Song was incredibly innovative. It was incredibly fun. They took a dungeon crawl in a completely opposite style than what you're used to, but it doesn't have the name brand recognition. I mean, you can make the argument that Keep the Heroes Out should also be in there as a great multi-level faceted cooperative game, but it doesn't have the name recognition. It doesn't have the popularity. It doesn't have the backers or the owners in that sense. And it's not going to get a grassroots. You can't grassroots Boardgamegeek. So, that's why I think, Oathsworn is ultimately going to take this one away. If you told me Aeon Trespass Odyssey or even Return to Dark Tower won, I wouldn't be surprised. So there you go. Expansions are what's up next. It's really just a battle of which of the Dune ones is going to win, right? Rise of Eeks, Immortality. Rise of Eeks, Immortality. Everything else is going for third place, I would say, essentially, unless you have Dune splitting the vote, right? We always talk about that in politics. Aspire. Not backed on this channel, but I'm thirsty and I'm going to do it while I drink and talk. So surprisingly good. But, Meadow, On Mars, Parks, the Red Cathedral, Roll Camera, Root, Star Wars, Outer Rim. I mean, they're all fine. Dune takes it to the next level. And so, barring people saying that, or fighting, I guess I should say, over which one is better, I think one of the Dune ones wins. Your pick? Well, flip the Frosthaven coin and that's your winner. The rest of them, no, don't really hold a candle to that. One of those should win. One of those will win. That's my pick. Innovative. Again, innovative. What do you consider innovative? Is a spin, a more complex spin on Werewolf with Blood in the Clock Tower, does that deserve to win? It's an excellent game. It's probably one of the preeminent games, but in terms of, at least social deduction, but is it that innovative? When I think of innovative, I think of things that people have not done before, not necessarily just spin-offs, variations of things. Because, you can look at Ultimate Werewolf and say that, it's very, very similar, just with a deeper background. The rest of the category, John Company's second edition, no offense, but you did John Company first edition, shouldn't be on this one. My Father's Work, maybe. Planet Unknown, it's a polyomino, simultaneous-ish drafting. Return to Dark Tower, cooperative. Maybe, if you really want to go innovative, I think you have to put it in the context of either Cat in the Box, the deluxe edition, or you have Turing Machine. Both of which we have not seen the likes of in a board game scene. So if I had my pick of what should win, I would probably go, Turing Machine. I'd probably go Turing Machine with a second to Cat in the Box. What's gonna win? I don't think ISS Vanguard. Nope, I don't think that's going to get it. I think it's either going to be Return to Dark Tower or Blood in the Clock Tower. And I'm going to say Blood in the Clock Tower is going to get it, even though I'm going to make the argument I don't think it's that innovative necessarily. You guys can fight me in the comment section. I know it's going to be a really raucous comment section about how I'm wrong about a lot of these games, especially the ones I haven't played. Light Game of the Year. Light, medium, and heavy. So light Game of the Year... Light biggest game of the year, right? Foundations of Rome, Long Shot the Dice game, Next Station London, Ready Set Bet, a lot of these, Sea Salt and Paper, Splendor Duel, Checking Through History, Acropolis. I don't know. This is probably one of the bigger toss-ups. There's not really an outstanding head and shoulders game above the rest with this one. And so I think you could have any of these win. I think whoever's going to get the biggest email campaign support, because in case you missed that, like every single buddy who's on this list has sent out either updates on their crowdfunding campaign or updates on their newsletter saying vote for us, which I understand at the same time. Yeah. So honestly, I think it's probably gonna be Foundations of Rome again. I think Foundations of Rome is probably gonna have it. Do I think Foundations of Rome should win? No, I think Splinter Duel should win. I think it's gonna be Foundations of Rome though. So let's just skip on to the medium because that's gonna be a little bit easier. Again, Blood on the Clock Tower, Clank Catacombs, Flamecraft. Flamecraft should not be in the medium. Flamecraft should be in the light. Guild of Merchant Explorers. Again, it's fine. Libertalia, Planet Unknown, Wonderland's War. What's gonna win? It's probably gonna be Wonderland's War. Now, I say that because a lot of people on my side of the camera have hyped it up. I don't know. How do the mass market feel about it? I mean, it's, harder to get in print right now as well. Planet Unknown's relatively good. Libertalia is highly underrated. Heat Pedal to the Metal, though, is the other sleeper there as well that I could see along with Clank. I don't know. Blood on the Clock Tower has a rabid fan base too, so I could see any of those happening. It's going to be a big question mark at this point on Medium Game of the Year. Any one of those 5, if you say, but Flamecraft is in there as well as people just kind of like the game. You know what? Screw it. What do I think's gonna win? And you know what? I'm gonna go Flamecraft. I think Flamecraft is somehow gonna win this one. What should win? I'll make the argument that Heat Pedal to the Metal should win. I really do like that game above all else. Heavy games. Going to Aeon Trespass, going to Carnegie, going to Endless Winter, John Company, Marrakesh, nope. Revive, nope. Tiletome, nope. Wayfarers, nope. Weather Machine, nope. Wordcraft, no. I think it comes down to Aeon Trespass and Carnegie, which unfortunately I'm going to give the edge to Carnegie too, because I think you're going to have more heavy gamers voting on the heavy side of things. And I think it's going to be skewed. Aeon Trespass Odyssey should win. Carnegie is going to win from that aspect. Party game, just give the party game to Green Team wins Blood in the Clock Tower or Long Shot the Dice Game. Whichever one gets the biggest groundswell. Whichever one gets the biggest groundswell from that side of things. Party game-ish. So personally speaking, I've heard a lot of good things about Green Team wins. I don't know, actually, a fair number of these other games. I'm going to say it's either a toss-up, coin flip, between Green Team wins and Blood in the Clock Tower. I'm going to push on that one. I have no freaking clue. Next up, Print and Play. I only know a couple of these by reputation. Shoes Tactics, Aquamarine, A Wayfarer's Tale, the Woodcraft Roll and Write, Sunshine City. I personally have Aquamarine and Sunshine City, and so I think Aquamarine should win. I have no clue what's going to win, though. Pick your battle. Sunshine City. We'll go with that. We'll go 50-50 there. I'm going to get one of those two right. Or I'm going to mix them up. Solo game, Aeon Trespass, Left Null, Aquamarine, Frostpunk, ISS, Nemo, Paperback, Resist. I play Aeon Trespass solo. So that would be my pick. ISS Vanguard, no. Frostpunk, no. Absolutely not. I don't view those as solo games. I mean, you can make the argument that Aeon Trespass isn't either. And so I kind of wish these were only true solo games, just like the true 2-player games. I don't know why you make that differentiation, Boardgamegeek. That's stupid. But I'm going to go with Resist. Resist, I have a copy right back there. It's an excellent game. It's probably one of the hardest games I've played ever. But the solo people really love it, and I'd be surprised if they don't turn out for that. Thematic game, though, I'm going to go Thematic. I am going to give Thematic to Aeon Trespass Odyssey. They got to win something. War of the Ring, nope, it's not Thematic. It's a great game. It's, not as thematically incorporated. It doesn't give you the same experience of War of the Ring, the actual miniature game. Wonderland's War, I mean, the theme is nice, but it, when you're doing these separate areas, the theme's not there for me. Dead of Reckoning, no. Frostpunk, no. Heat Pedal to the Metal, no. Vanguard, no. Company, no. My Father's Work, no. Nemesis Lockdown, maybe. Oathsworn, okay. Return to Dark Tower, My pick, Aeon Trespass Odyssey, by far and away. That's what I think is going to win, though. What's actually going to win? Oathsworn. Let's not kid ourselves, folks. War Games, I have no idea. We're skipping that one. We're skipping. It's only 14. Best Podcast, I should probably skip this one, too. The interesting thing about Best Podcast, though, I heard someone say in the comment section elsewhere, like, if you win previously, you don't get nominated again. So maybe I should do a podcast, because YouTube, I'm just not big enough. Right? Like that Dragon's Tomb video that he put out, man, that was a good video. But like, I was like, man, I'm never going to be included, something like that. So who cares? I don't know. Podcasts. I can't tell you the differences. I haven't watched any of these. Watch them. See, that's how I'm doing this video. I swear this has no alcohol in it whatsoever. And the best board game app. I don't play board game apps. I play board games. So skip this category as well. Do you play Everdell, Clever 4, Llama, Maglev, Metro, Role Player, Wings of Glory? I don't know. Take your pick. Hero Realms. We'll go with Hero Realms. Hero Realms for the popular vote. That's it. Those are all the categories. How did I do? It'd be interesting to look back and see when this is announced what the actual winners are and, you know, whether or not I was right. Like, again, this is not picking what I think is going to win. This is what do I think the mass niche hobby is going to go for? Because let's be frank here. People who are voting for this are a niche within a niche. And most of the time it's incentivized either by like those newsletters or those Kickstarter crowdfunding updates that I mentioned, or they're going to give something, you know, it happens. Or people just like clicking on the links and voting for their favorite games, whether or not they're really the best ones or not. So it's kind of, like I said, just like high school, right? Just like high school. Popularity contest. I was not popular in high school, by the way. Nope. I was a nerd. Nerd! Revenge of the Nerds. Anybody? Anyway, sorry. That's what happens when you get this. And again, this is no alcohol. This is Aspire Healthy Energy Natural Caffeine Green Tea Raspberry Acai drink. It's pretty good too. It's got a lot of flavor for sparkling water drink. So I like them. I'm done. Peace out. Tell me how wrong I am in the comment section again, like usual. I love it. Have a great freaking day. Stay classy. Woo! A little flare at the end there.